Now, yes.
Now, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so it is the second project. Go ahead, Valeria.
Okay, so the project came from an idea of Elena Crisa, who will comment more on that. But the idea was to retrospectively collect the data on a big group or cooperative group on patients with del(5q) who stopped lenalidomide, discontinued lenalidomide, not because they lost response, but because of intolerance or other reason. And the idea was to investigate the duration of hematological response, of the cytogenetic response, and possible disease progression and mortality. And if possible, but this would be only if samples are available or more data are available, investigate the biological marker of relapse after, of course, LEN discontinuation. Now, the idea of Elena, she can tell you, was to have a prospective study, but this will take a long time, and we will like to do it, but we didn't get the grant we applied for. So the first idea was to collect data, and within the end of this terrible year, probably have the complete data collection. So I think some 30 patients have been already collected in different centers. And I suppose that Elena can come in and say something more, even without slides, because this is where we stand now. Just a sort of very rough data collection to know whether patients are available with these characteristics. And then we have to go on and transfer the data to Harmony platform, of course. Elena, do you want to say something?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I don't know if I can share my screen to show a few slides if we have time, or I will just quickly describe the project. You tell me.
We have time, no? Yeah.
Okay, so
yes, please. Yes, please.
I will try to share.
Okay, so I will stop sharing my slides probably. Yeah.
If I can.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I think I email to all of you the summary of this project. So we discussed it by email. And as Valeria said, it was basically a project aimed to investigate the outcome of patients with del(5q) MDS who responded to lenalidomide, achieving transfusion independency, and then discontinued lenalidomide for different reasons that are not, of course, progression, and see what their outcome was, and to find some biological predictors of relapse, if the patient relapsed, or biological predictors of response duration. And we thought to collect data on the outcome, but also on some disease characteristic and some molecular markers. So not only FISH and cytogenetic status at the time of treatment and of lenalidomide discontinuation, but also an NGS study on the main gene panel, on the main myeloid gene that are commonly mutated in MDS. And the primary endpoint would be the event-free survival. And as an event, we thought to include the transfusion independence loss after lenalidomide discontinuation, the complete cytogenetic response loss, the disease progression or death. And secondary endpoints would have been overall survival, progression-free survival, the duration of transfusion independency, time to acute myeloid leukemia, and if in some patient was rechallenged with lenalidomide, the response rate. Then toxicities and predictors of response. I thought to include a cost-effectiveness analysis, but I don't think that we will manage actually to do that, because I guess data won't be too homogeneous across different countries. And the main inclusion criteria were of course, the diagnosis of MDS according to WHO criteria 2008 or 2016, and a revised IPSS very low or intermediate at the time of the treatment start, the achievement of transfusion dependency on lenalidomide, and the fact that they started lenalidomide for transfusion-dependent anemia. Otherwise, it would be difficult to assess response and response duration. And this is what I sent to some of you. So the main data that we want to collect. And so we thought to collect data at diagnosis, the main disease characteristic, demographic data, and on lenalidomide treatment, at lenalidomide stop, and after lenalidomide discontinuation. And then, particularly to study the biological part of the disease in case of relapse, to assess, for example, if some mutation occurred before progression or only at progression, etc. And we focus also on the biological side, thinking to collect molecular data if available, data on TP53 mutation or NGS panel if it was already performed. But also we thought to collect DNA. So in case some of the centers, because it's retrospective, if some of the centers had stock DNA, we could now perform the NGS analysis and the TP53 mutational status in our center, in Novara, in my center. And these is the centers that are said they were willing to participate, but up to now, we could only gather 30 patients, but we just started collecting data in September, August, September. And I guess that COVID stopped most of us from this type of work. But what I want to underline is that it would be difficult to collect huge casuistics. So it is really important that each country use his own network to find these patients, because of course it is a rare disease, and patients who have discontinued in response will be really few. So in Italy, we collected about 20 patients up to now, and the other 10 are the first ones sent from some German centers. But I'm in contact with all of you and all of the reference people of these countries, and they promise they are going to collect all the patients they have. Do you have any suggestion or comments on that? Thank you.
No, this is Pierre. Just saying that those patients are quite few. I mean, at least it depends. Some countries may stop frequently. We tend to stop very rarely. So I can think in my practice of only 2 or 3 patients. So so it will take some time to collect, and of course we don't always remember the names of the patients because it may not be noted somewhere, you know. So yeah.
No, but there are very, very few cases. That's why it took so long to propose it, and that's why we need so many centers.
A huge collaboration. But on the other hand, because there are just few, the main work is find them, but then collect data for each center should be quite quick, because it would be a couple of patients, I guess.
Okay, so and for France, for the GFM, Cécile Bally has offered to collect the data for all the centers and to send them to you. Yeah.
Thank you. And again, if you have, or any of you have some DNA, we can have more data on the molecular side. Otherwise, it would be just clinical observation.
Okay.
There are not any comments.
I would like to add that in Spain, as Elena knows, we are already recording the data for this study, and it has received a very good initial response from the Spanish centers.
Thank you. Also, the Nordic group was really enthusiastic, but again, so we start So just a technical question. So I am collecting data on a Excel spreadsheet. So what is going to happen is that can we collect all data in that way and then put them inside Harmony like we are doing with the other projects? Or what?
The efficient way to do it.
Can you respond to that, Guillermo?
Yes, I think that once all the data have been collected, we can add this data to the previous one. If you are using the same unique patient number for the patients that you are registered, your national registry or institution is using for the general project or for the HMA project, then this data will be harvested in the same patient that we have with the data we have before this study, and that would be great.
Okay. So would you suggest not to collect data? So I am now receiving all the email with data, but would it be better to convey all data in Harmony? I wonder. I guess that would take more time, maybe. It's better to collect them outside with the unique number and then put them all together in Harmony, maybe.
I think that we can make it at the same time.
Okay.
Obviously, if we want to have the results sooner, then it will be great if we can start the analysis outside Harmony.
Perfect.
But I feel that it would be better to have them already in the platform, because in that way we could add some information that may be not included in the specific data base on lenalidomide discontinuation that can be already available in the other Harmony projects, in the data that we have already harvested.
Okay, so as I gather a bunch of data, I will contact Harmony office to arrange the merging in or the updates of the registered patients.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
What can we do to speed up the collection of data, Guillermo? How can we solicit it and stimulate the different centers?
I have already said something. I think that we should, at Harmony, clarify what is the process. This is the first thing. And the second is to contact personally the people who is involved in MDS and has the data for this kind of studies. And all of us know who they are. So I think that you and you, Valeria, and Pierre could prepare a list of the people that could be prepared to send this data, and we can let's say send them a preliminary letter by email with the projects that we are already started, and asking them to send to us their data, but explaining them very well which is the process that they should follow in order to avoid these long delays that Andrea Pelagatti has mentioned in his first speech at this meeting.
So as you said, we will receive the slides with the explained procedures to share with everybody.
Yes, we will prepare. I think I don't know if Elvira or Neus can in some way explain this or show this kind of slide, because I think they have been already prepared, and the problem is that we have not sent them to anyone.
This is Neus. I'm going to share with you the slides that we used for in last session in ELN, just because I think that it's going to clarify the process. Let me know if you can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Guillermo, do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
Go ahead, Neus.
Okay. This is the longest way to share data with Harmony. If you're already a member, you don't need to become an associated member. So instead of the paperwork is going to be reduced. But first of all, what you need to do is to contact Harmony office, because they centralize all the process. And what you need to send us is a data dictionary. A data dictionary is, we have some templates. I can send them to you later if you want me to. But basically, this is just an explanation of the kind of variables that you're going to share with Harmony. The short description, because if not, later on when the GMB, the company GMB is going to translate all the information into OMOP, it's going to make it faster with this dictionary. And also we can make an evaluation of the value of for the reimbursement of the data. The data dictionary works in both ways. One, for understanding how to make the translation into OMOP language, and the other one for calculating the reimbursement. So this is very important. Then once you need to sign all the paperwork, this is the part that is going to be performed by IPSAL, okay, by the Harmony office. They need to sign with your institution a data sharing agreement. So after signing the data sharing agreement, you can transfer your data via the trusted party. Okay, I think that this is the state where Valeria Santini is already good, and we can elaborate all the reports, the second report, taking into account the quality of the data, and the final report, which is going to show which is the reimbursement for your data. I think that is this slide. Here you can see all the reports and where the data transfer is going to take place. As Valeria has already said before, she sent us, we received the data dictionary, the first one last year. So we were able to make an estimated report, because for all the paperwork, we need to know more or less the maximum amount that we are going to be able to reimburse for your effort. So that's the data dictionary, that maybe it doesn't match exactly, but it needs to be as close as possible to your data. After the data transfer, we will be able to really accurately estimate the value of your data, and also the transformation to OMOP language is going to be performed. And there are two reports. One that analyzes the quality of the data, and the third one, which is the final reimbursement report. So Valeria, you are waiting.
Yeah, this is what I missed. This is what I was asking for. I would like to know when this data, or if I have to do something, just to know the quality report of my sending of what we sent from Italy?
It's according to our tables, they are on the to-do list.
Okay.
They are aware of that because we have labeled that it's on, and they will contact you if they need any input from on your behalf. And to make you an idea, to give you an idea, this is an example of an effort cost matrix for evaluation. This is a general one. When we made estimation in order to sign all the paperwork, here you can see that we evaluate the demographic data, the diagnosis data. Also, if you share, which is really important, any omics data, treatment, quality of life resources, outcome data or longitudinal data, that will be also taken into account for the reimbursement. If you tell us that you're going to make several measurements or any omics or molecular biology data, and then which is also going to be taken into account is that if you provide any pediatric data, quality of extra information regarding quality of life, etc., it is your reimbursement is going to be increased with the bonus cost. That's something that we want to make everyone aware of it, that the more data you share with Harmony, the higher the reimbursement is going to be. So sometimes it happens that, oh, we have just shared, I don't know, 10 genes because we didn't have the other one prepared. Please don't do that. Try to share as much as possible because you never, finally, Harmony is going to be a data lake. The question is going to come later. So we're trying to push you to share your data with this reimbursement. And here, if you want, I can share with you also that for the MDS, for any other reimbursement, just to show you the structure of what we're going to take into account.
I would like to add one thing that is that we have recently included as a new bonus in this Cox matrix three different variables. The first is that depending on the amount of omics data that you are offering, there will be a surplus. This is the same for the amount of patients. Let's say it will not be reimbursed the same if you send 100 or 10,000 patients and data of 10,000 patients. And the third is regarding treatment, because we feel that we have the omics data, but we don't have the treatment outcomes, then we are losing very relevant information. So I don't know, Neus, if we have some slide of this, let's say, final Cox matrix estimates for in general, not particularly for MDS. Do you have it?
I think that I have it. I'm just checking it out because I have it somewhere. Wait a second. Because this is in the evaluation procedure. I think that this is going to be, I'm going to share again my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
I think that this may clarify it. As you can see, this is exactly the same matrix that I have shown you before, where all the items have been parameterized. And here you can see on the right hand, the bonus costs, which are divided into molecular data. For example, if you gave a detailed conventional molecular data, the reimbursement, apart from the maximum of 125 euros per case that can be given. There will be given another 10 extra euros per case if any LT3 ITD ratio is given, etc. Also, if a high number of molecular analyses are supplied, more than 20 genes, single spot analysis are supplied. And also we're going to increase the reimbursement if fully sequenced genes are provided, up to 25 genes. And this will be due to an increase of €1 per gene. Full annotation is also going to be taken into account if the genetic information is provided. Also the whole exome sequencing or gene expression. And apart from the molecular data increase, there's another section that we have taken into account, which is we have naming a special clinical interest. For example, if large cohort from national registries are provided, we are going to increase also the compensation per case. €1 per each. If I remain colorless, €1 per each 1,000 cases given. This means that if you provide 5,000 cases, just as in the case of, for multiple myeloma was like that. Per each case, it was increased €5 more. And as I said before, also a specific data of interest of pediatric data also increases up to €25 per case. This is just a bonus that we have made in order to promote data sharing. I can, if you want me to, I will take care of send it to everyone, this information, because this is the documentation that we have elaborated by the data quality for you to have it. I don't know if this is clear right now. Guillermo, would you like to say something else?
Well, I think you now have explained perfectly what are the main changes in the rules of the reimbursement. We feel that most members or associate members will be in some way able to share their data based on this new Cox matrix model, because we feel that in some instances many centers or registries are very reluctant to send the data because they are not seeing them to be compensated as they should be.
Yeah, here what we are just trying is to promote data sharing as much as possible. So if you like, I will send you both the data dictionary. This is just an example. Don't take it as if you have another data dictionary, you don't need to follow it. Exactly. It's just to give you an idea of what is the information that then the informatician is going to ask you if you don't provide it before as a data dictionary. That's why we are asking it. It's just to make everything more smooth. And I will send you also this presentation to all of you.
Yeah, that's very important. Now, so another question. So as you know, we sent the data of the patients who received hypomethylating agents until now. But we discussed in Florence last year that we should send all the data of the registry. So can we send the other in a second wave or?
Yes, sure. Actually, in multiple myeloma, they are doing that. They have sent a first wave, and I think that the paperwork is much easier.
Because now we know how to do it.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
One thing I would like to ask Andrea Kuntgen from Düsseldorf, how is the the let's say the process of transfer of data from your registry to Harmony? Which step you are?
Yeah, unfortunately we had just started to put the data together to transfer it. But I don't know whether you know that the University Hospital of Düsseldorf has been subject to a cyber attack, unfortunately, and all the data on the whole university hospital has been encrypted and has to be deciphered again before we can do anything with it. So since we have to go into some patient data again to fill out some blanks to get all the data together, that was not possible the last weeks. So I cannot give you an exact time. We were already in the process, but yeah, now we have some problems.
Thank you, Andrea. What I like to mention is that in the case of Spain, we are almost ready to send the data from 10,000 patients to the Harmony platform. Pierre, Valeria, do you want to add something?
No, what I really want to stress is that we have to keep in touch to speed up everything, because this is what I also wrote you, Guillermo. I really need to interact, to go on, and to have the project ongoing, because otherwise we sort of lose track.
I think that one thing that could help us a lot could be to build a distribution list in order to send all this information to the people who is linked
yes.
to the MDS arena. I think this is really relevant, because we are missing many relevant registries and centers that I think that we have not been able, and again, I think this is an Harmony fault, to let's say to explain them the relevance of the project and the way they can contribute, the way they can present research proposals to the platform and to the alliance. And another thing that I feel is important, that is to say that depending on the research project, every partner should have a veto right, in the sense that if they feel that that project is not of enough quality, let's say, they could say, please don't use our data in Harmony for this particular study.
Okay, the suggestion also is that now there are two projects, and there can be other projects. And I mean, because I mean the time needed to start a project, to contact the centers, to etc. And in the meantime, the other projects will have had time to be completed. So we can. I think there can be many ideas, yeah, including rare, either frequent treatments like azacitidine, or on the contrary, rare occurrences like discontinuation of lenalidomide. There can be others.
Yes, and I would like to share with you one, I think, relevant issue, that is that Harmony is now, let's say, negotiating with Lisa Player the possibility to share the database on CMML that is now including more than 1,500 patients in the platform. I think that would be a very, very good achievement because it would allow us to perform specific studies on CMML. I know that this is now an MDS subtype, but again, is a rare and orphan disease. And once it has been located in the MDS MPN neoplasms, it's particularly difficult, not only to perform specific studies on this entity, but also to go ahead with clinical trials specific for this disorder.
So, okay, that would be a very good third project, yes. And obviously, we never excluded CMML from the group, and the HMA project included CMML, yes. Okay.
Well, I have a couple of questions. According to my record, maybe please correct me if I'm wrong. We have only one project as it is in Harmony related to MDS. Is it right?
Yes.
No.
Or
well, we just presented the project number 2 that we discussed also in Florence, and then we present it again now.
And it has been submitted through Harmony Coordination Office because it has a template and the evaluation process, etc. Or I don't know.
But we can do it.
I can send you.
Yeah.
No, you should do it, Valerian.
We can do it as soon as, yeah.
It's quite easy because let's say with the format of the project you have, it will be very simple to build this research project for Harmony, and I am really sure that it will be approved by the Alliance. So please,
we can do it.
Could you send them the template for doing this? Because again, this may be a problem that the people doesn't know what are the steps to perform a research project in Harmony.
We have single-page tutorials for everything. Please ask me for them.
Okay, we will contact you.
Okay. Do we have other points to discuss?
Not from my side.
Yeah, it's Andrea Manca here.
Yes.
Hello, hi. Sorry, I've just been listening to very interesting conversations about potential projects moving forward, and I remember we had some email exchange with Guillermo in the past when I was presenting the results of the MDS Right health economics analysis. He showed quite a lot of interest in doing further health economics work, perhaps as part of Harmony. And I was just wondering whether this might be an opportunity to try and embed some quality of life and healthcare resource utilization data collection in any of the comparative studies that you are designing at the moment, because it might be a useful addendum that could lead to another good example of how big data could support HTA.
What do you think? I think it's important. Yes, it could be included. No, Guillermo, do you think that could be a project within our consortium? Guillermo?
Disappeared.
You are muted, Guillermo.
Sorry, I missed your question.
No, I was just asking Guillermo if you thought this project from Andrea Manca, the health economics aspects could be included in our MDS consortium. I think it would be a good idea. This is something important.
No, it's absolutely relevant, and I think that Andrea is trying to lead it in the MDS right, but I think that Harmony is a better platform for this purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, and
We don't hear you very well. We don't hear you at all, actually.
Point out, I'm non-partisan. I'm just a health economist trying to support your efforts to show that the big data is a good way forward. Oh, sorry, I'm driving and it's my maybe poor connection. What I'm saying is I'm non-partisan. So for me, it's not one done with MDS right. It's on low risk continuing the program. So some of the low risk MDS become high risk MDS, and they might end up having an ML. And that is something that I think this group is particularly interested in. And I was just putting forward the suggestion as an opportunity for you. If you are interested in embedding a health economics component to some of the studies that you are designing here, that are not necessarily what we are doing in MDS, I would be very happy to support you and in that effort. That's all I'm saying. I'm not pushing any agenda here.
Yeah, Andrea, I fully support your idea, and what I like to add is that for Harmony, it is particularly relevant to know this information, because as you know, one of the work packages of Harmony, that is work package 6, in which the EMA is in some way hitting this part of the project, is related to establishing, let's say, new rules for regulatory and reimbursement issues regarding new drugs. So to understand and to know what are the costs of the current standard treatments of MDS is of, let's say, of particular relevance for us.